took into account the amount of delay that Facebook puts upon us. Currently, there is a 60-second delay. So I did the best I could do with what I got, with what I'm working with here. So hopefully you didn't miss the beginning. But if you tuned in at exactly 10:30, I timed it where you should be getting us at exactly 10:30. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. We get together every Sunday morning and we do three things. We talk about your national days of the week, a comedy, a community, or charity event that we want you to know about. And we wrap it all up with This Week in History, trivia style. 7 multiple choice questions. All set to medium difficulty. And if you can get all 7, that's pretty cool. It makes you feel good about yourself. 7 out of 7. If you get 6 out of 7, you should feel good for yourself. If you get 7 out of 7, you should feel really good for yourself. Basically, the Supplemental, it's a great way to start your Sunday. I have 0 viewers today, and that's okay. You can watch this now or in the future. And if there's no one playing or participating, we can actually get through this pretty quick. Let's get things started with your national days of the week. Monday, June 22nd, is National Onion Rings Day. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I can only think of one restaurant, fast food joint thereof, that does onion rings. There's only one. I don't think any other fast food joint does onion rings other than the King of Burger. I'm pretty sure the King of Burger is the only one that does onion rings. And my friend Danny Johnson has a fantastic joke. And I won't ruin it for you here. I'm going to say, if you want to see my friend Danny Johnson, look him up on the interwebs. He's all over them. His YouTube special, over 100,000 views. I'm so happy for him. He makes me happy because he's doing so well. And if you dig into the Johnson of Danny, the Danny Johnson of there is, if you dig into his comedy and you do a little, you're going to come across the finding your onion ring in your French fries. You're going to come across it. And it'll make you laugh. Because we've all been there. We've all done it. We've all been there. We've all received a fragment of an onion ring inside our French fries. And we all felt like the king that day. But I don't do his bit justice. So please check out my friend Danny Johnson anywhere fine comedians can be found. And think about that on Monday, June 22nd. National Onion Ring Day. Tuesday, June 23rd, is National Detroit Pizza Day. I don't know what there is to know about Detroit-styled pizza. What I do know is that Detroit-styled pizza, well, it's like if you were to tell a crackhead how to make pizza. That's what they would do in Detroit. Probably meth, not crack. I don't know if anybody does crack anymore. Probably meth. But, hey, I need you to make some dough and some sauce and some accoutrements and put that in the oven and bring that out. Okay, saith Detroit. Let's do that in the weirdest way possible. Is it really weird? People love Detroit-style pizza, and I don't get it. I like New York-style pizza. Here it is. A dough, sauce, meat, cheese. Done. But no, they got to make it all like Sicilian and square cut and large and fried. I'm not a fan of Detroit or people from Detroit or the stupid pizza that they make in Detroit. I'm not a fan of any of those things associated with Detroit. Screw the Tigers, screw the Lions. I don't. Yeah, have I eaten Detroit-style pizza? Absolutely. Just not too long ago, it was National Pizza Day, and I bought Detroit-style pizza for my workmates, and we ate that together. So, yes. I'm just going off on the ridiculousness of anything Detroit-styled. Okay? That's what I'm saying there. Moving on. I'm going to be listening as I'm doing some work around the house, not participating. But yet you are participating. And thank you for that, Robert. Everybody loves Robert. Robert. Everybody loves Robert. Not true. No one loves Robert. I'll get you. I will say things to make you want to participate. That's for sure. Oh, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Wednesday, June 24th, is National, International, Intercontinental, Worldwide, Global, Galaxy, Interstellar. It should be all of those things. It's National Bring Your Dog to Work Day. Trying not to get verklempt already. But I rarely was able, we don't have, I work for the government. We don't have bring your dog to work days. We have weird people that bring their dogs to work because they're service animals. Okay, yeah. What's that chihuahua going to do to you when you fall down in a diabetic freaking... What's the chihuahua going to do? Bring you a licorice? Look, I don't have a lot of issues. I got a lot of issues. But service dogs, emotional support animals, all of them, it's just people seeking attention. Here I am. If you are blind and you are walking with a dog, I get it. I 100% get it. If you experience trauma once upon a time and you got a little toy chihuahua that makes... No, I don't get that. It's not that I don't feel for you. Everyone has their own things. But you don't get special treatment for a lot of it. Okay? Blindness deserves special treatment. What am I going with this? Oh, take your dog to work day. I love the thought of taking your dog to work day, but it doesn't have to be a service animal. It doesn't have to be an emotional support animal. It just has to be an amazing dog who knows not to pee or poop in the office. That's all they need. Me and Zeus, we would go to my office on the regular, but it was on the weekends when no one was around. And I love the fact that he knew exactly where I worked. We would walk in. I work in a really, really large building. And there's no one there on the weekends. And we would walk in the door, and I would take him off leash. And he would lead me to my office. When I say lead me, like he would get up ahead of me, and then there was an intersection, and he'd look back at me to make sure I was still with him. Like, come on, Dad. Come on, Dad. I knew where we're going. Come on, Dad. And he'd make the left. And he'd go to the next intersection, and he'd look back at me. Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad. I know where we're going. And he'd make the right. And he would go down this long hallway all the way to my door. And then he would sit in front of my door. Like, come on, Dad. This is the door. This is it. This is the door. And it was. God, that dog made me so happy. And then we would go in. I'd do what I needed to do, and then we would leave. And when we left, it was the same procedure. He knew how to exit the building as well. Come on, Dad. Come on. I know. Come on, let's go. Ah, I am verklempt. So verklempt. And think about that on Wednesday, June 24th. National Take Your Dog to Work Day. Now I can clear up my fucking eyeballs, and I'll edit that out later. You had me laughing and saying everybody loves Robert, but then I cried. No. Everybody loves Robert. Not. God, man, I can't tell you how much that dog affects me. Hey! Just got an image from Brandon Stibb. Let's see what old the Stibsters got there. Oh, he's making bread. It looks delicious. He's a bready. He's a bread guy. All right. Still fucks me up. Sorry. I'll cut that out. How bad do I look? Thursday, June 25th, is National Catfish Day. I've eaten all kinds of fish. I've eaten fish cooked so many different ways. But there is no more of a distinct flavor in my mouth hole than fried catfish. I love fried catfish. I love fish. I've eaten fish for years and years and years. I love fish. But if you were to blindfold me and put a series of fishes in front of me and said, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? For the most part, I would like, grouper? I don't know. Flounder? I don't know. But if it's catfish, specifically of the fried variety, I am 100% going to know what that tastes like. Every time. Every time, fried catfish, sold. And I don't eat it. Like, decades. I've had a lot of fried cod over the years. You know, for your fish and chips, the only fish you can use is cod. And the best fish and chips in the world, is at Roy's Fish and Chips there in Gibraltar. If you don't believe me, go there. Prove me wrong. It's a gigantic piece of fish. It's deep fat fried in beer batter. Oh, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And anyone who's ever been to Roy's Fish and Chips in Gibraltar will attest. And I have tried fish and chips everywhere in the world. None is better than Roy's. None is better than Roy's. But what they don't do is they don't make catfish into fish and chips. Well, what is fish and chips? It's fried fish and French fries. I guess maybe if you go to a catfish-rich environment like Tejas, like go back to Texas and say, I'd like some fish and chips, please, you're probably going to get catfish. Oh, you can eat every Friday night catfish. God, I can't, I just haven't had it. And I know the flavor, I know the texture, I know everything there is to know about having fried catfish in my mouth right now. But what I don't know is when was the last time I had fried catfish. I think it's been decades. Decades! I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to have some fried catfish soon. Maybe on Thursday, June 25th, National Catfish Day. You've been to Roy's. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I am wrong. You've been there. You've eaten their chips and fish. Fish and chips. Whatever. Did I skip a day? No, I didn't. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. We'll do that because I don't know what I could possibly do with that. Friday, June 26th is National Coconut Day. It puts the lime in the coconut. It drinks it all up. Yes, National Coconut Day. Now, most people have a hard time getting a hold of coconut. If you go down to the Bahamas, they'll make you a really, really cool drink inside a coconut shell that's got the coconut meat inside it. You drink the drink, and then you eat the coconut. In theory. But I don't know if you know this or not, but eating coconut meat is a challenge. It's difficult. It requires the smashing and the breaking and the tearing. There's a lot of violence in eating coconut meat. Unless you buy coconut meat on Amazon. They give me a big old jar of it. And anytime I have the tropical urge to enjoy some coconutta, I untwist the top, stick my hand in, and pull out a piece of coconut meat, and then I eat the coconut meat, and I feel happy and satisfied. Is it as good as the straight off the tree coconut? No. Do I live in Puerto Rico? Also, no. Or the Bahamas? Or other places where you may find coconuts, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm just trying to, I don't know where. I think of a lot of places that I didn't see coconuts that I kind of expected to see them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the coconut is, aside from a nice liquid beverage if you are dehydrating. What the coconut is the container of a meat that's tasty and delicious. And you go to the store, they will sell them here. Explain this to me, okay? You go to the store, and they've got coconuts that they've taken the husk off of. But it's still the hard coconut shell that you have to get through. You're not doing me any service by taking the hairy nutsack off of the coconut and leaving me the hard crustacean that is a coconut. You're not doing me any favors, but you're upcharging me for that. And I don't like being upcharged for that. Anyway, get you sell some coconuts on Friday, June 26th. National Coconut Day. I'm going to take a quick sip. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but the AC decided to kick on. I've probably done this before, and I'm going to do it again, because what I say is what I believe. Saturday, June 27th, is National PTSD Awareness Day. I have issues with PTSD. Yes, I have issues with PTSD, but I also have issues with PTSD because I don't believe it's a disorder. I don't believe having vivid memories of things that you participated in, that you were a part of. I don't believe having vivid memories of those things is a disorder. I think that's how the brain works. You do things and the brain remembers. And the more amazingly impactful that thing was that you did, the more vividly your brain remembers. It's not a disorder. Look, I'm not pretending to be this fantastic war hero. Okay. Before I was a combat veteran, I was diagnosed with PTSD. Why? Because the psychiatrist in her book with the number 5 on it believed that if you have experienced a lot of death, then you're going to have PTSD. And I wasn't having PTSD. I have vivid recollections of all of the death that I've ever experienced. The first decapitation, the first traffic fatality. I remember them all. It's not a disorder. It's not a disorder for your brain to remember the things that you went through. In fact, it would be a disorder if your brain forgot the things that your brain went through. That would be the disorder. Now, there are definitely people out there who have experienced a lot worse than I ever have. Okay? And it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad to remember that you saw things. Bad things, horrible things. It's not bad. It's not a disorder. It is your brain just remembering that you did and saw things. It can be stressful. So I'm okay with the P, the T, and the S. What I'm not okay with is the D, because that's where people make money off of you. It's okay to have post-traumatic stress. You went through something, it was traumatic, it's stressful. Afterwards, post-traumatic stress. It's in the title. What I can't stand is disorder. Disorder, disorder, disorder. It's not a disorder. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I am happy to know that more and more people that have been diagnosed with PTSD are now all starting to say, it's not a disorder. I just remember the things. And the more vivid the things were, the more vividly I remember them. Now, on that same note, if you believe you have a disorder and you need to talk to somebody, do it. Do it. Okay? Go pay money to people who want to listen to you. If you're at the end of your stress disorder and you're thinking about doing horrible things to yourself, go talk to somebody. Hell, talk to me, man. Send me a message. I'll tell you. Don't do it. It's okay. It's okay to have memories. But if your memories are taking over your life, if you believe you have a disorder, go give money to somebody who's going to try to convince you that you're okay. Or listen to me every week on the LUNSB Show where I'm just going to tell you, you're okay. We've all been through it. We'll all get through it. It's not a disorder. Think about that. On Saturday, June 27th, National PTSD Awareness Day. To your comments. And there's only one commenting. Roy is the best fish and chips in the world. I'd slap someone who disagrees. I agree. I took you there to prove a point. I took you to Roy's to prove to you that there's no better. There's no better fish and chips in the world. Let's do this one. Sunday, June 28th, is National Tapioca Pudding Day. I'm not a pudding fan. But if you were to line up a bunch of puddings in front of me, chocolate, vanilla, tapioca, are there any other puddings other than chocolate and vanilla? I don't know. I don't think I've ever... tapioca, rice, which I think is just tapioca, chocolate, vanilla. These are the only 4 puddings that I am aware of. If they come in different flavors, I don't know if I've experienced... A lot of yogurts. There's a ton of yogurts, especially with the proteins. Got to have the proteins. But when it comes to pudding, Jell-O, plenty of Jell-Os. But when it comes to pudding, I only know of rice, tapioca, chocolate, vanilla. And I'm curious if tapioca and rice are the same pudding. Same thing, different label. Or is rice pudding tapioca pudding without the cinnamon? I don't know, okay? I looked at this the same time you heard me say this. I have not done my research on pudding. But with these 4 puddings that I can think of, vanilla, chocolate, rice, tapioca, I'm more inclined to enjoy the oca of tapa. I like the tapioca, and I haven't had that in probably as long as I haven't had fried catfish. It's been a long time. But I can taste it. I can feel it. Here's the problem with pudding in general. Pudding, number one, comes in very small serving sizes. And you put a spoon in, and you've basically emptied the container. And you put it in your mouth, and then it just goes down your gullet. It's gone. But tapioca, it's got some consistency. It's got a little M word that involves chewing. Mastication. There's a little bit of mastication involved. There's a little chomp, chomp, chomp. Not much, but something. I find myself eating foods that just slip down my gullet. Cottage cheese. I like cottage cheese. It's high in protein. It's low in calories. And it just slides down your gullet. Well, I want to chew something. I need some mastication. I need my teeth need to feel like they're involved in the process. And with all the puddings that I can think of, with the exception of rice and tapioca, there's no mastication at all. But tapioca has got some cinnamon in it. I really want to put those side by side. I think I've correctly identified the difference between rice pudding and tapioca pudding is cinnamon. That's the only difference in the two. I'm not going to Google it. Why Google it? Why stress somebody's water supply to figure out if I'm right or wrong? Just accept the fact that I'm right. And an experiment for yourself on Sunday, June 28th. National Tapioca Pudding Day. I'm going to have a sip. I don't know where everybody is today, and at the same time, I don't care. I don't care anymore. You hear, I don't care no more. And now it's time for your Come-Come-Char. Come-Come-Char. Comedy, community, or charity note. We're only a couple of weeks away from the Harrisburg's Hilarious competition taking place at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone, located at 110 Lime Kiln Road in New Cumberland. Basically, we have 64 comedians in a competition to be identified as the most hilarious person at the competition in Harrisburg. Harrisburg's Hilarious. And I was careful on the words that I chose there because we have contestants from all over the area, from Baltimore, from Maryland, from D.C. There's a lot of people competing in the Harrisburg's Hilarious competition. It takes place starting July 17th and July 18th. And then the following weekend that I don't have the numbers for. And then the following weekend that I don't have the numbers for. It's a great time. And if you haven't been out to the Harrisburg Comedy Zone, this is a great time to come. So you come out and you pay $10 and you get to see a series of comedians. Again, we're going from 64 all the way down to 1. So to get the most bang for your buck, you show up early. And then you're allowed to vote for the person that you think is the funniest. Actually, you vote for the top 3 people that you think are the funniest. And after you do that, if they win, you're kind of committed to come and see them again. If the person you voted for did a great job, then it is upon you to come back and see them do it again. You're not required, but we're just saying it would be cool if you did. Here's what traditionally happens. Because of the amount of comedians that are at the first show, the place is packed with people. And then we reduce it, the first show, the second show, the third show, the fourth show, the prelims, the primaries, whatever you call it. We have all of the people and all of their friends, they pack the house. And then we get rid of all of those people. It's like 5 or 6 people a night. I don't remember exactly. I think we do the top 6. But then you from 64, you're basically going down to 22, 24. You're going down to a much smaller number. And then the following week, so you're going to lose a lot of your audience. But it's only $10 to get in. And if you're a fan of my show, you'll know that I'll get you in for free. But there is something that you have to do to get in for free. And if you don't know what that is, may I recommend watching the Warno Friday nights at 6 p.m., where I will constantly remind you of what you need to do to get free tickets to the Harrisburg Hilarious competition. Again, Harrisburg Hilarious starting the weekend of 17 July and continuing for the week after. And the week after, 64 comedians battled to be crowned Harrisburg's most hilarious comedian. Last night, I got to see Dom Selesky, who's a very funny guy. I got to see Dom Selesky at the Comedy Zone, and he had a killer set. And I told him after the show, I was like, if you would have done that set during the competition, you wouldn't have come in second. And we laughed because he came in second last year. But he's a very funny guy. And I encourage you to come see him, listen to him, judge him on your own, and possibly vote for Dom Selesky. Of any of the people that you could vote for. I'm not leaning one way or the other. I'm just saying, if you find them funny, come on out, pay the $10, or say the phrase that pays. Get in for free, but vote for whoever you think is the funniest comedian. It's a great competition, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's Harrisburg's Hilarious, taking place starting 17 July and the 2 weeks following that, the semifinals and the finals. Now, let's get on to the fan favorite portion of the show. This Week in History, trivia style. 7 questions, all sent to medium difficulty, all with multiple choice options. Robert is the only one out there today, and he's kind of sort of not playing along. So I'm just going to get through these, because there's no reason to wait for your responses if you're going to play along in the future. Just remember, we do this every Sunday at 10:30, and that's when I expect to see you. June 15th, 12:15. Yeah, that's right. I said medium difficulty. These are set to medium difficulty. June 15th, in the year of our Lord, 1215. What historic document did King John agree to? Was it the English Bill of Rights? Was it the Magna Carta? Was it the Treaty of Paris? Or the Petition of Right? What historic document did King John agree to on June 15th, 1215? Man, that is going back a bit. My answer, I'm going to write down here. I'm going to go with this one. I will tell you, because I don't want to ruin it for you. So I will give you all of my answers prior to telling you what the correct answers are. And as a reminder, I don't know what the answers are. I am guessing along with you. I am seeing these for the first time, as are you. At the end, we type in answers please, and AI gives us the answers. June 16th, 1963. Who became the first woman in space? Here are your options. Was it Sally Ride, Mae Jemison, Valentina Tereshkova, or Svetlana Savinskaya? Well, I know it wasn't Sally Ride. Ride, Sally, ride. I know it wasn't Sally Ride, and I don't believe I've ever heard of an astronaut named Mae Jemison. So that leaves us with our Russian options. And because I'm a fan of alliteration, I know what my answer is going to be, and I'm writing it down now for all of posterity. That is my answer. Who became the first woman in space on June 16, 1963? Sally Ride, Mae Jemison, Valentina Tereshkova, or Svetlana Savinskaya? We'll find out soon. Question number 3. What event led to the Watergate scandal on June 17, 1972? What event led to the Watergate scandal? Was it the Pentagon Papers leak? Was it the Watergate break-in? Was it the Iran-Contra affair? Or was it the Teapot Dome scandal? Well, sometimes when we set the questions to medium, they think we're dumb. June 17th, 1972. What event led to the Watergate scandal? Was it the Pentagon Papers leak, the Watergate break-in, the Iran-Contra affair, or the Teapot Dome scandal? Get your answers in now. We'll find out what my answers are at the end. June 18th, 1983. What astronaut became the first American woman in space? Was it Krista McCullough, Judith Resnick, Eileen Collins, or Sally Ride? Ride, Sally, ride. That's a good one. That's a trick question, right? Because I think she was the first one, and then I think she was the one that wasn't the one. But I do know this. I do know that this question helps me answer a previous question. And anytime you take a test, and that test is a multiple choice test, I highly recommend, if you have the brain capacity, read the test first. Because as we've demonstrated here in our 7 questions, that if you read the test first, some of the questions will help you answer previous questions. If 1983, June 18th, was the first American woman to go into space, we know those other 2 chicas in that previous question could not have been the first woman in space in 63. And we verify that it must have been a Ruski. June 18th, 1983. What astronaut became the first American woman in space? Christy McCullough, Judith Resnick, Eileen Collins, or Sally Ride? I am gonna go with this one. I'm not telling you my answers. June 19th, 1865. What event does Juneteenth commemorate? If you say stupid, I will accept that. If you say dumb, stupid, wow, thanks for showing up, sir. Can't get me any later than question number 5. That's okay. You and the family can play along later. June 19th, 1865. What event does Juneteenth celebrate? The end of the Civil War is option A. Emancipation announced in Texas is B. Ratification of the 13th Amendment is C. And the surrender of Appomattox is D. None of these responses are correct. Because the emancipation announced in Texas is what the wording says. Is not true. The emancipation was already announced in Texas. The rest of Texas knew. Galveston, Texas, specifically, pretended to not know. They say they didn't get the message. Not all of Texas. Texas is a big state, and there are freed slaves everywhere throughout Texas. But Galveston, Texas, specifically Galveston, Texas, pretended not to get the message. So I'm going to throw question number 5 out. Question number 5 is BS. What they want us to say is emancipation announced in Texas. Technically, that's correct. Because, Galveston is in Texas. So, I'll just like the White House one, or like the Watergate one, just take it as a win. Just be happy with it. Writing down my answer. Question number 6. June 20th, 1975. What movie premiered and became the first summer blockbuster? June 20th, 1975. Was it Star Wars, Rocky, Jaws, or Superman? What film premiered on June 20th, 1975, and became the first summer blockbuster? Da-dun. Da-dun. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. I got my answer. Because I know how old I was in 1975. And I know I was in the 2nd grade when the teacher thought she was going to take us to see Star Wars. And I know that movie was packed, okay? There was no getting in to see Star Wars. So she took the 2nd grade class to see The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training. And I know how old I was in the 2nd grade, and I wasn't how old I was in 1975. So there's that. The final question of the day. Mr. Taney has answered with Jaws. And he tried to answer the Texas question with something that wasn't even an option. But I know what you were saying. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. June 21st, 1788. What became the 9th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, making it effective? Who was the 9th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution and to give us the 2/3 majority needed to pass the U.S. Constitution? Was it Virginia, New York, New Hampshire, or Massachusetts? What was the 9th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution? I don't know the answer. I don't know. I never decided who. This is not knowledge I would have. I don't have this as knowledge, but I'm going to take a swag, if you will. Again, the options for you. Virginia, New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. What became the 9th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, making it effective? Mr. James says New Hampshire. I am going to now go back through the questions and give you my answers. I chose the Petition of Right as the answer to question number 1. I chose Svetlana Svatskaya as my answer to question number 2. My answer to question number 3, as should have all of your answers been, was the Watergate. Question number 4, I chose Christy McAuliffe. Question number 5, the Emancipation announced in Texas, even though that's total BS. Question number 6, I chose Jaws. And question number 7, I went with Virginia. Virginia. And I type into the thing, answers, please. Please. And here are the answers. I cannot believe that is correct. Wow. I thought about the Magna Carta. I honestly did. But I always thought that the Magna Carta was done like much earlier, closer to America. And 1215 was nowhere near that. Often called the most important documents in history, it established that even the king wasn't above the law. Imagine trying to tell a medieval king, "Sir, I'd like to speak to your manager." The correct answer was the Magna Carta. Question number 2, she was a Russian, but it wasn't the Russian that I chose. Valentina Tereshkova orbited the Earth 48 times during her mission. That's more time in space than all American astronauts combined had spent at that point. June 17th, obviously was the Watergate scandal break-in. Question number 4 was Sally Ride. Before her flight, reporters asked if space travel would affect her ability to have children or whether she cried under pressure. Questions male astronauts somehow never got. So Christy McAuliffe was the school teacher that died, and that's who I guessed. But for some reason, I thought it was Sally Ride, even though apparently that was not her. So I'm not doing well today. Question number 5 is the Emancipation announced in Texas, and here's the little words that AI gives us underneath. More than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, Union troops arrived in Galveston, it doesn't say, Texas, and announced that enslaved people were free. That's the event commemorated by Juneteenth. Stupid. As stupid as the D in PTSD. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't have to go back and watch that later. June 20th, 1975, the correct answer, and the only correct answer for summer blockbuster, was a movie that made you not want to go to the beach. Jaws. Da-dun. Da-dun. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. And question number 7. I also got it wrong, and I feel horrible about that. I'm just going to have to go sit in the hot tub, make myself feel better. Question number 7, Mr. Taney did get correct. New Hampshire. New Hampshire became the 9th state to ratify the Constitution, which was the magic number needed for it to take effect. Without New Hampshire, there'd be no Constitution as we know it. That's not true. That's not true. There were other states who could have approved it. I don't want to give the tiny little state of New Hampshire, live free or die. I don't want to give them the credit of, without you, we wouldn't be a republic. Especially considering that they haven't been a republic in decades. Them and all of the New England states have been gerrymandered into blue for freaking decades. Forget you and your live free and die malarkey. Your cow manure. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Supplemental. A new episode of the LUNSB Show is right around the corner. I thank you today as I thank you every day. Thanks for listening. And I remind you today that just be the best person that you could be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Check Bruce sends her love. LUNSB.